Hello, and welcome to Reimagining Love. I'm Dr. Alexandra Solomon. I have been studying relationships for over 20 years as a couples therapist, a professor, an award-winning author, and as a wife, mother, daughter, sister, and friend. Now, I'm inviting you into this space each week as I dig into some of the toughest and most fascinating relational dilemmas of our time. If you want to discover how to create vibrant and loving relationships in your own life, you have come to the right place. This is Reimagining Love. Hi there. Welcome back to Reimagining Love. As promised in the last episode, here we are with part 2 of my in-studio conversation with my husband, Todd, which was inspired by our recent love of season 2 of the Netflix show, Nobody Wants This. If you missed last week, the context is that watching the show has inspired us to reflect on our love journey. I converted to Judaism in preparation to marry Todd. And if you've seen or heard about the show Nobody Wants This, then you know that the central conflict of the show is whether agnostic sex podcaster Joanne is going to convert for Noah, her rabbi partner. But this certainly brings up a larger topic, which is how does any couple handle a potentially deal-breaking difference? So you're going to hear our reflections on my decision to convert. You're going to hear us talk about what it means to be the quote unquote sacrificing partner, what it means to be the quote unquote partner who's being sacrificed for, how attachment differences have impacted our relationship, and what we've learned from it over all these years. And today's episode goes in. You're going to also hear Todd and I talk about scorekeeping with gender differences, attachment styles, and general disposition and worldview in mind. You're going to hear best practices for the quote unquote winner and the quote unquote loser in that change sacrifice scenario, how to approach making sacrifices in a way that helps the couple stave off feelings of resentment. And then really the juicy stuff, which is, does Todd Solomon secretly hate that I'm now a Swiftie like him? Plus you'll hear my hot take on shelving conversations for later. Okay, here's part 2 of my in-studio conversation with Todd. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Are you having fun?
Yeah, I'm having so much
fun on my show.
Having such a great time. Can we take a few listener calls?
Yeah, right. Oh my God, that'd be so fun. What are the phone lines? Phone lines are open. Okay, so we talked about like these differences that we've bridged, but specifically when it comes to conversion, like that process we went through of being aware of the difference, talking about the difference. Our solution to the difference was we collapsed the difference, right? Like I made the difference go away by becoming Jewish, basically.
Yeah.
You know? And I think in relationships, like there's a million forks in the road that couples get to where they have to make a decision, you know? Like either one changes for the other, either one, they decide to accept the difference between them.
Right.
You know, like there's like this sort of like tension between like acceptance and change.
Right.
Like, had I not converted, you would have to accept that we're different faiths and we would have to, you know, do it that way. So I guess when I think about the way that we, quote unquote, like solved the religious difference by me converting, in that situation, like you're the guy who, you know, quote unquote, like got what you wanted.
Right.
And I'm the guy who, you know, gave up something or changed something in the name of love.
Right.
And I think that's like, even if a couple is not dealing with like a faith-based difference, there's a million ways that that comes up. Like city versus suburbs, like West Coast versus East Coast. Like there's lots of these forks in the road where the couple has to like make a relational decision, you know?
Thousands. Yeah.
Thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
So many.
Right. If you go to like, you're going to go for dinner. If you go into the small things too, there's hundreds of thousands. Yes.
That's true.
Millions. Right.
That's true. So in this scenario, like around faith, you in that situation, like you were the one who like...
The winner.
I was going to say the one who got what they wanted. But yeah, the winner, right. So yeah, let's talk about that. Like what are the best practices for being a good winner? What are the best practices for being a good Well, I don't know. Should we use what? Yeah, because that would.
No, but right, the one who makes the sacrifice versus the
sacrifice.
one who benefits from the sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
Like who's going to stay home or who's going to take care of the kid or who's going to scale their career back. I don't know. My perspective on this is so simple that you'll probably say it's idiotic because it's so simple. But my perspective is to just put one foot in front of the other every day and be the best version of the partner you can be every day. And it all kind of works out. So like, I don't think a lot at all. I don't think at all about the fact that I got what I wanted there. I just know that this is for the long term. I try to focus on giving you what you want a lot, not every time, but a lot. And that it'll all just kind of work out. And the focus is not on that one thing or carrying that around too long. It's around the next day and how do I be a good spouse, because that's in my mind, that's kind of like all I do. I have like 4 things in my brain.
Mm-hmm. What are they?
You.
Yep.
Children, 2 of them. They count as one.
They're in one bucket.
Work. And then like sports and entertainment. And that's it. That's like literally it. I don't have much space. I mean, I obviously follow politics. I try to be active, do a lot of charity, I do things, but like in terms of what takes up my space on what do I want to accomplish in this life, in this world, in any day, those are the only things that matter to me. So I feel like I'm always thinking about you because it's only 5 things. And they're big things, but like, imagine, like I don't have to think about 50 things.
Right.
I don't have to think about 100 things. That's all I care about. Maybe I think about other things, but I don't care about anything else.
And you don't keep score. What you're saying,
and I don't keep score because I'm not keeping score. And I know that if I have that as my mentality, and that's my mentality is to make sure I'm making you happy and making myself happy and focusing on us as a couple, that I have just this sort of blind faith that that'll all work out, stuff like that. So if I win this one, then you win the next one. Like it doesn't matter because I'm going to put in enough effort that is going to work out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like, again, so simple that it's idiotic or an actual like a Zen sort of peaceful thing where I'm not keeping score. But I don't keep score a lot, and I don't think about what I've sacrificed for you or what you sacrificed for me. And it may be that I'm like the youngest child. Like I've gotten a lot of what I wanted in my life. So maybe my life's been kind of, it hasn't been
a white dude
easy. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just an easy thing, right? I'm open to criticism. Like that's so simplistic or, that's an easy, youngest child thing is you always got what you want when you're a kid and job you want, you got the wife you want, like I have everything I want. I don't really want for much more. So maybe that's easy that way, but I feel like I could have been very focused on, well, I'm getting what I want on this. I got to do something for you. I mean, I feel like I do stuff for you all the time and I don't think about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think about, well, who's done it. In fact, that's a big difference between us because I think you bring that up a lot of you were much more prone to scorekeeping, and it was really threw me off when we were young of who's doing what and who's done more housework, and you didn't thank me for this because I did these 2 things that you didn't do, or you did these 5, and I'm oftentimes in the bad moments, I get very defensive and I'm forced into scorekeeping. So I will defend myself in a fight like that or a criticism like that about, you'll say, well, I did all these 5 things for the kids and you didn't even say you're doing a great job or thank you.
Yeah. And you're like,
and I'll be like, what about these 20 that I did that I didn't tell anybody about? That's sort of my immature reply back is like to tell you that I'm actually doing all this stuff too and not saying anything about it. I don't need your praise about it. Like that's not said in that negative a way, but that's like the negative interaction we get into is you say something like that. And then I defend with, well, do you know how to renew the car insurance? Or, do you have like, do your kids have cell phones at work that you paid a bill for? Because you don't do that. Right. So like, that's the immature way I do it. But in my head, it's like, why are we talking? Yeah. Because I just don't need to do that. I know that I'm fully committed to the relationship and fully committed to the kids. Like, it's why I don't expect our kids to like bend over backwards to thank me for things,
Right.
which I know you're kind of different on. It's just, I don't know. I just think there's like certain things. There's so few things in the world that are unwritten.
Yeah.
And when you can take advantage of the things that are unwritten,
Yeah.
what a gift that is. Like, just run with that. Like,
Totally.
I don't think, why my brothers and I are two of my favorite people in the world. I rarely tell my brothers I love them. I could do that every time I talk to them or every time I see them. I don't do it because I don't think I need to.
You should. It'd be weird.
Maybe I would. It'd be, it'd throw everybody off. But like stuff like that, it's just like there's very few givens in the world. That's a given. Like I don't have to, not like I don't have to try or I have to, obviously everybody has to pull their weight in the relationship, but I don't have to worry about when the last time I said that is or.
Yeah. So that's that. Okay. So that you're speaking about like I see that very much I see it through a gender lens and an attachment lens. And first of all, okay. So Gottman, the Gottmans,
I do.
They have 40 years of research that basically has boiled down to one finding, which is if it's a problem for you, it's a problem for me. Like if you have a problem, the whole world stops and we tend to your problem. And that basically has been what you're saying. But one of the things I hear in what you just said is like, that's your mantra in this marriage. Like if there's something that I need, you turn toward it.
You need.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something that I need, something I, Allie, need.
Yes.
You turn toward it.
Not always immediately, but yes. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes there's like a layer of defensiveness that might interrupt the ability to turn towards it right away.
Or something
in
I want.
general,
Something
yes.
I want. Like
Yes,
something
of course.
that matters to me.
Yes. Same with the kids.
Yes.
Yes.
But it also like that's also secure attachment. Like I think about, like in my family, we said thank you for every dinner.
Right.
Every night, which, I think there is something like more.
It's not bad, I guess, but it's just different. It's very different from my constitution.
There's like a precariousness or a need to kind of like reinforce or prove, kind of prove loyalty or that was not, that was not. I remember like one of the things that was so confusing and so delightful when Brian was born, I didn't notice it as much as with Courtney, because I think maybe the gender thing. But like by the time she was old enough to like work you, like it was so wild for me, like watch her like wrap you around her finger. And she felt no hesitation to like ask you for things, demand things of you. And you would just like twist yourself up in knots to like give her what she wanted, when she wanted, how she wanted. And it was like so, like I would delight in seeing that happen. Like what that must feel like to be a little girl.
Might have even happened this morning. Via text on something.
All the time.
Yeah, no, it should.
It's just so freaking
I mean,
delightful.
I don't want to like spoil anybody, but I don't think she has to worry about whether I'm going to be there if she needs something.
Yeah.
That's all my purpose is, which is same with you.
Yes.
I don't know if that factors in to what you're asking, but I guess I just feel like if that's my mentality, everything else will work out around it. I feel like that's the secret to all of it. I don't feel a need to keep score if that's my mentality. I know if that's my mentality, it'll all work out. I'll do more for people than they will for me, and that's fine. Or, or whatever it is. It just doesn't matter because the whole thing is like service, service, service.
Right. There is something for sure, like when I think about like the couples that I do therapy with, there's something gendered, like the kind of heterosexual typical dynamic. We're playing it out in this way too. So it's not just about attachment, it's also about gender. Because I do think like, all the research about like division of household labor and da-da-da. But I think it's more than that. I think it's like what happens when you grow up with just like with gender role socialization. I think that women are so taught to be like self-sacrificing and to be good girls. And I think there's much more tension inside of women around if I give too much, I'll lose myself or I'll be taken advantage of or I'll be taken for granted. Yeah. So I think that's also, when I protest or I want you to see something that I've done, I think it's in part me like speaking to something that was socialized into me as like, be careful that you don't go unnoticed or get taken advantage of or taken for granted. Even though I know in our marriage, that's not a concern. It's not an actual realistic concern that I will be like rendered invisible in our marriage. But it's something about just the way that like the gender role stuff like seeps in nonetheless. And I feel I'm at risk of feeling less than if I'm doing stuff that goes unnoticed.
And men who are, is that what you're saying, are less likely to feel invisible?
Yeah, I think that, I don't hear, even like with my college, I think even college students like will speak about this. Like, I don't think that men have that worry of, or that they,
probably
or that
right.
they have to
Maybe.
have recognition for the things that they're doing.
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes it is that men are just doing less.
Right.
So there is,
Sure.
they're contributing less, they're doing less. There it is like this, the playing field is not level.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think maybe that's what the whole scorekeeping thing is like. There are plenty of areas where I do less,
Mhm.
but I guess I just know that if I'm focused on it, I'll be doing enough in enough areas, I guess. But I just don't worry about it too much. So like the idea that I won this big one on religion and got you to change your religion over me, it's never felt like some
No.
albatross around my neck that I have to make up for you, or that somehow I owe you, or somehow, I'm one down because you made this grand sacrifice.
Yeah. I do think
Maybe it is entitlement. I don't know. It's a good question. As I say it, maybe it sounds like kind of, maybe I should be more appreciative. I mean, like, but I don't think it's, I'm not appreciative. I just don't think I like viewing the relationship as a, you did this, now I do that. Like, I think it's just understood that we both serve each other.
Give when we need to give.
Uh-huh.
And that it's,
and that I'll do my part over, that I am doing my part.
right. And that over the course of many years that there's ebb and flow.
Yeah. Right. Of course. And in many areas. And then there's all sorts of different spheres where I'm super involved and you're not. We're both super involved, or you're super involved and I'm not.
But I do think as a general rule of thumb, when there's somebody who's listening, if you're going through a thing where you've been like the winner, even though we're not loving this like winner loser language, like when something has gone your way, I do think it's just a good practice to express that to your partner, like just to like reflect, like, I see what you did there and I appreciate it. Just to kind of like get just to make sure that it is like, that it's landed and reflected.
Right.
And
Maybe this is too unique to.
I'm thinking about like, and I think I did this, like another difference between us is around like kind of like spending and saving, where I'm more the gas pedal with spending money and you're more the brake around spending money. And we've had some like tough conversations recently around just like how we talk about money. And so I feel like there have been a couple of times where I've raised a question or raised something that I want to spend on, and you really haven't given any pushback. And in those moments, I ought to say to you, like, I noticed what you did there.
I think so. Really? I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's always nice. I mean, I mean, believe me, we do that now and again. Sure, it would be nice, but I don't think it's required. It gets like make or break. I know you appreciate it.
Yeah.
There's other things you do or ways you speak about it, or I just know you do.
Yeah.
We know each other that well at this point. I don't know. I'm not saying don't say things. I guess because we say things to each other all the time. I guess I'm just saying I don't count or keep a running tally. I mean, there's all sorts of times where I tell you you've done something really good, or that I'm really grateful that you talked to Brian about a hard problem he was having. Like I do that all the time. I just feel like I don't have to keep even up the score. You just do it because it's the right thing to say, or I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm articulating it well enough. I guess it was all coming down to the question of when you asked me, like, did I carry this thing around? I didn't think about it for one day after it was done. Sort of, it was just like, what you did, chose to do it. It's wonderful. I know I thanked you for it, or at the time, but it's not something I have to think about on an ongoing basis.
Okay, so then
maybe
the other
it's
thing,
like catch and release or something.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because I mean, I don't think I'm not thankful in the moment. I think I say thank you to you all the time on things, or say how good you did something all the time, but I just don't carry it around. Maybe
there is something Zen about that. Like I remember reading about like the Dalai Lama, that when he's happy, like his whole face like lights up, and you can like see that he's feeling happy in every single possible way, and then it passes. And same thing when he gets sad, like when he hears like a very sad story and he's like weeping, he's fully in the sadness, and then he's like he goes back to baseline. Like he doesn't carry either thing too much, which probably is. I think there's something about like equanimity, like coming back to like a middle,
especially in something
place.
Like a long-term relationship where it's like one of the few things you can count on, because I don't think I'm that way in other areas.
Yeah, like some sports things that are like hard to let go
Very
of,
hard,
right? Yeah.
And like work things, like something goes wrong at work, might carry it around for a week, or those kinds of things. or some interaction I didn't like,
But in relationships, it's much easier.
Yeah, especially these relationships.
Well, and I guess then, so I guess what we want to say to the person who made the sacrifice, not calling them the loser, but the one who made the sacrifice.
Calling them the Jewish loser. Like you are. You're a Jewish loser the day after you converted.
That's all I became.
Yeah, that's all you did. That's all you did in that day.
So for the Jewish, I can't even say it.
We probably shouldn't. I don't know. I'm getting...
Edit that out.
I don't know why I said that.
But you just to help everyone understand what we're talking about.
Okay.
For that person to just pay attention, I think there is something about affirming for yourself, like affirming within yourself, like that self-soothing, self-affirming, self-trusting, like this is something I did for the good of the relationship.
Yes.
And that has to be sourced, at least in part, from within.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think it has to be, for sure. And I think I say that to myself all the time. I wasn't suggesting that. I was suggesting maybe I don't think it has to be a thing that you wait for your partner to do.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that is something you could do for yourself.
Yeah.
And then when your partner says that, that's great too.
That's like the frosting. Well, I wouldn't say frosting on the cake because the cake is not good without frosting.
Right,
but like the thing was good, and
right.
then your partner's affirmation of it is just kind of the bonus.
Sprinkles on the frosted cake.
The sprinkles on the frosting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I agree with that. I don't know. You're the therapist. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but I do think that is something people should focus on doing themselves.
Well, and checking in. Like if my, like just to use the conversion example, if my whole motivation to convert was to impress you or earn your love or earn your gratitude or whatever, I best not do it because all I'm doing is indebting you to me forever. And that is not a healthy way at all to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
So it has to be like, I have to be able to feel some reason that is bigger than just your pleasure in me or your delight in me or your appreciation of me. There has to be something more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's not a sustainable change and it sows the seeds of resentment.
That makes sense.
Okay, this is kind of a right-hand turn, but I feel like while we're talking about differences, we need to talk about the fact that there was a difference between us for many, many years, which is that you were a Swiftie, like a original, like day one Swiftie.
Day one, but
it wasn't
early
day one?
days. Maybe a little bit day one.
How early?
Pretty early. Yes, go ahead.
And I wasn't. And that was like an actual difference.
It was.
Between us.
Yep.
Until
you fixed the problem.
I fixed the problem by becoming a Swiftie.
Yep.
And I'm going to go ahead. This is maybe a hot take, but I don't think that you like me being a Swiftie. And I have two examples.
Okay.
Are you ready to hear these?
Sure.
Okay. So I think that you were like, initially you were like, that's cool. And you like,
do what you want.
Yeah.
You do you.
Yeah. You were like, and a little bit like, welcome to the party. And
right.
Like that was.
Sure. Yeah.
You were, I think it was a warm.
I think so.
Like a warm welcome.
I'm eager to hear what's
on
your mind.
Too.
Okay.
But when I walk around singing a song, you will correct me.
I'm going to wait until, okay, go ahead.
You corrected me. Like, you're like, it's actually, I drink that brown liquor, not the dark liquor.
Right.
So you corrected.
Right. Well, because words matter. Yep. Lyrics matter. But go ahead. And number two.
And number two is I said when we were driving.
Somebody wrote it. It's a lyric. It's the real thing. It's either brown or dark. But yeah.
Get it right. We should respect.
Maybe. I mean, tomato, but sure. Second.
When we were driving down to Carbondale, I said to you, I know what we can do for 37 minutes of the drive. We can listen to the album start to finish. Yep. You said, actually, it's 42
minutes. Yes, because it's 42 minutes. So what? That means I don't like that you like the album? Or 100%. It just means I'm correcting gross errors in your characterization of the lyrics and the length of the album?
I think you don't like that I'm a Swiftie now.
I don't have any problem with...
And why
she deserves all the fans she gets.
Then why are you
She works very hard and she's a tremendous artist. And I'm sure she would say there's room at the inn for you, even if you get the lyrics wrong once in a while. And I mean, I don't think I was mad. I think I was just trying to tell you, hey, she's got a few other good songs too, besides these 11, which are, or whatever it is. They're wonderful, but other good ones too.
Okay, so you are in this moment.
I don't have any
You're not
problem
in touch with any deeper feelings that you have about it.
I have no.
You think it's purely just.
I think it's just like
you're a lawyer. You can't
dotting I's and crossing T's and putting a comma where you didn't put a comma. No, I can't see bad grammar being used and not say something about it. So you missed a lyric, I'm probably going to say, it's actually.
I think what the older,
but no, I don't think.
But the OG Swifties should know is that when you correct a new member, it doesn't feel welcoming.
Well, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I should have been more sensitive when I corrected you on your misuse of her lyrics. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a very lovely thing about you. I think, and this is not meaning I was upset you were a fan. I just think people who know you will know this to be true. You're very 0 to 90 miles per hour is all. Like, it was like, well, I don't know. She seems great. Nice young woman, talented, but I don't like Taylor Swift. Like, now everything's Taylor Swift. We're walking around the house singing. So it's just, there's sometimes you take a while to get used to what you're into or you're not into. Like, we watched Nobody Wants This is the current show, but we watched part of the show Platonic, and we watched 2 shows, and you really liked it, and you couldn't stop telling everybody you
at Rosh Hashanah
dinner. That true too. But at like the next 72 hours, Platonic. You ever watch Platonic? And it was a wonderful, very funny, great show. But it was like, I know you get so into Platonic. So maybe it was just part of me always trying to just be a little, like you said, you're the gas pedal on the brake.
Yeah.
Let's just slow the Taylor Swift train down. Let you listen to it a few times, resonate, see if you like it. Maybe listen to more, and that's great. I want you to be a fan, but we don't have to talk about it all the time.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Maybe that's helps.
It could be. That could be.
It's not a rejection of your fandom. Never had to be my thing. Maybe I just want to see if it lasts too. Maybe I'm just like trying not to get caught up in it because maybe it's just this album.
It's economically helpful to you that I just became a fan because I would have for sure made us go to the Eras tour.
Yeah, that would have been pricey.
Yeah. Okay, I also, before we wrap up, I had this thing I wanted us to talk about because I think it's really, so I don't think this is a spoiler to say that in season 2, at least in the part that we've watched.
Nobody's wants us now? We're back to Nobody Wants Us.
Oh yeah, we're back to Nobody. We're done with Taylor Swift. Okay. That box is closed. Okay. We're opening back up the Nobody Wants Us box because there's one more piece that we didn't talk about, which is in season 2, early on in the season, Noah and Joanne make the decision to table the conversation about conversion.
Yep.
And I think I have thoughts about, I think there's a difference between tabling something or containing it or like kind of cordoning it off for a time and avoiding it. Yeah. I think somebody could watch that or hear about a couple who's made that decision to put conversation on ice about a particular topic. Right. And that could be labeled as avoidance. So I want us to like kind of talk through the difference between containment and avoidance. I think that's an important distinction. I think the show is doing a nice job of
for sure
handling it.
I agree. Okay. Do you want me to?
No, I want to tell you my.
Please. Okay, go ahead.
I want to tell you my hot take first, and then you tell me.
That's great.
I think that we underestimate the importance of things needing time. That time is a variable that can't be hacked and can't be like kind of bypassed. And I think for that couple to sit with the question as big as conversion so early in their relationship, it becomes a different question. Like I think the question itself and the different pathways themselves like are alive and dynamic, and the pathways look and feel different. Like the possibilities look and feel different as the relationship matures, like as time goes, as experience goes, as trust builds, as connection builds. The question itself of like, what should we do with this difference? The question changes. The question is alive. Tell me. So I think that's why it makes sense to contain something as big as that, because it's going to change with time.
I totally agree. I think that makes sense. Yeah, right. And containment is not doing away with it and never coming back to it. It means apparently putting it off till there's more information or more feelings. Yeah, I mean, I think in the show, we haven't, like you said, gotten to the end, but I think what seemed nice about it is it was manufacturing conflict in the relationship that didn't have to exist yet. It literally does not have to be decided yet. and they're getting along and they're really enjoying each other. And the only time they're having conflict is when they're having this issue between them. But why not table that? And when they encounter it again, whether it's a month, 2 months, or whatever, they probably will feel differently about each other. And all that information seems very helpful in making a decision. Like, I'm deeply attached to this person more than I was before. So while I want her to convert, or my family wants her to, I'm all in either way.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, oh wow, I've learned these other things about her and got this attachment issue and these other things. It's not all about religion. And I think they are like starting to explore that a little bit with her and her sister, and like there's a lot going on there. And like the cards, that was a great scene, actually. I guess, is that a spoiler? When they
I
on
that.
Valentine's Day, I think it was episode 3, how he wrote her like a 2-page card, and she wrote, like Happy Valentine's Day, love Joanne, or something like that. And this like need to have, expressing your feelings, and she's just not that way. Like that, to me, put their families aside. That's the bigger challenge to their relationship than their religion. And of course, he's a rabbi, and there's complications in that. So the religion is a legitimate challenge to his career and their relationship. But like, that was why that was such a good scene. Is it revealed like, here's this other thing that actually will be probably more disruptive to how they are able to find ways to live with each other and manage birthdays and Christmas and big events. And when he's all lovey-dovey and needs affirmation, and she's like,
right,
not for her.
No. Well, and on her side,
long way around to saying containment's, I think, a good thing, because the information is evolving. Right,
the information's evolving, and on her side, like you were speaking to it from Noah's side, and from her side also, I think they're doing something really smart with her hesitation, because they have said, okay, we're not even talking about whether or not you're going to convert. That's off to one side now. And by giving her that space, now she gets to do things like ask to go to the baby naming that he's going to lead. So she gets to kind of like put her toes in the water and learn more, which then as she, like, it's easier to make a decision that as you learn more, as you understand, like you kind of practice being in that space. Like I think about when a couple is like trying to decide whether to have a baby, like putting that, can that question be contained and put off to one side as you do things like go visit your cousin who just had a baby, or, have these other,
without a doubt,
as you're having these experiences and familiarizing yourself with what these different paths might actually like look and feel like.
Completely agree. I think the only problem with containment is if there really is a like clear 100%. Commitment, meaning doesn't matter how many babies I need to visit, like I'm not having one, and let's contain that. That doesn't seem like that's just avoidance, disguising as containment. Denial. Like if he knows he's never going to marry her without converting, which I don't think he knows. And I think part of him wants to think that's who he is, but like clearly that's not who that character is, then he shouldn't be containing, because then it's just putting it down the world, making everything harder, leading people on. Avoidance, like that's a problem. But 99 times out of 100, people do not know what they do and not do. Even with kids, like people who think they won't have kids, like it's good to enter into a relationship thinking you won't if you won't, and being upfront about that. But I think the idea that people would be closed off when you've got, who was the actor? Somebody just had a kid at 70. Kelsey Grammer, I guess he's got a bunch, so it doesn't count. But like, he just had a baby at 70, like,
Well, as a man has that.
Well, sure, of course. But I'm just saying the idea that you might not want them.
Right.
Like a woman could say, I don't want kids, and enter a relationship saying no kids, no kids, no kids. And then she could hit 35. And
It's such a gamble for the person then who knows that they...
True.
We're going to have to,
Maybe that's a complicated, yes. Fair enough. But I'm saying the point is containment usually provides more information.
Yeah.
But if there is certainty, then you're right.
It takes the pressure off, because you could easily see a world where for Noah and Joanne, that becomes the center of the relationship. And then the tension becomes a tug of war, and the tug of war becomes a polarized thing. And they end up taking more extreme stances just because it does end up taking on all this additional meaning about who are you?
Well, and it's always in the background. If it's contained, it's not in the background. If he gets that whole Valentine's Day thing happening while that's not contained, the Valentine's Day thing seems worse, I think.
Oh.
Because in his mind is like, she doesn't love me that much. She's not even willing to write me a nice card. And by the way, she's not, she's already said she's not converting. But when it's in a box, it kind of like controls one variable and lets you focus on other things. Because there's enough hard stuff.
Yeah. The thing we didn't say about, even though I converted, one of the really nice things about having two different religions is that we never, ever have to figure out where we're going to spend.
Super
Christmas.
Convenient. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually a real, Christmas and Thanksgiving are two really, really big holidays, and we've never had to fight over who's doing what. We just decided we would do Thanksgiving with my family and Christmas with your family.
Yeah.
And it's never been a debate. And a lot of people, that's a big issue. Yeah. Understandably so.
I haven't had a Christmas tree, but we haven't had a Christmas tree, but we always go to Michigan. So we've got, our kids have never not celebrated Christmas.
Yeah, and I'm not against having one. I just don't.
It would have been strange.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have worked for us.
Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't necessary. We weren't even in the house on Christmas.
Right, because we were always in.
But I don't think I would have a problem with it.
The only loss for you is that you lost Jewish Christmas.
Right, that's a big, real winner.
Movie.
Yeah, exactly. Sad for a while, but I always used to find a way to go to the movies.
Well, yeah, my dad would always
I found willing partners on the Christian side of the fence who just didn't know that was a thing. Didn't even know the movies were open on Christmas Day.
That's so true.
Your dad went with me every day for probably 10 years, maybe 15.
Yeah.
We didn't start doing it right away, but yeah.
Right. I bet he never even knew that. I
don't think so. I remember the first time I brought it up, he's like, what are you talking about? Or, the movie theaters aren't open. I said, oh, yes, they are.
Oh, okay, Gary. Let me show you.
1,000 Jewish friends in there waiting to welcome you. But Christian people go to the movies too, I think.
Yeah.
Not as much.
I think on that note, I think we should wrap up.
Okay.
Do you feel complete?
Feel complete, yeah. Maybe a little harsh on the Taylor Swift dialogue. If I owe you, if I've offended anyone, including you, I apologize. Very sorry.
I don't feel offended at all.
Okay,
I think
terrific.
It was kind of a sneak attack. You didn't know I was going to call you out for.
Yeah, and I don't think I was trying to be unduly harsh. I just think it's been at it for a lot of years. That's all. A lot of years. A lot of good songs.
And I've had embarrassing moments. Like I'm thinking about when we were at a wedding of a member of my team, Sam, and her husband Spencer. We're at the wedding, and all the girls are on the dance floor singing.
Yeah, you didn't even know the words. Cruel Summer.
Cruel Summer, and they're all doing this very girly. But then what did I do? I downloaded that song lyrics, and I learned that song. So I was ready.
Song now. The next time.
For the next girly circle I'd be part of.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you for being here with me.
I will always join you anywhere you ask me to come.
Well, I love that.
And you asked, so I said yes. Thank you for having me.
I'll tee up that actually we're going to be back in the studio and not too long from now, because I've got you already on the hook for another episode.
I'll say yes again.
You will?
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening to our conversation. We will be releasing the full conversation with video footage on YouTube today, which will be linked in our show notes. And yes, indeed, you heard me correctly on the episode. We did tease another studio date for Todd and me, and it might just be in honor of the Reimagining Love 200th episode, which is fast approaching. And we might just be asking for your help to submit your questions for Todd and I to discuss together. Really exciting stuff. Speaking, by the way, of submitting your questions, please, please, please let me know your thoughts about this pair of conversations. Have you ever had to make a big sacrifice for your relationship? How did it go for you? Have you shelved a conversation for a later date in order to contain it and allow the context to grow and fill in? How did that work for you? Where do you think the line is between shelving and avoiding? And then most importantly, should an old school Swiftie be correcting a new Swiftie on lyrics, on album lengths? Let me know through the listener question link in the show notes. Until next time, be well. Do you have a relationship question that you want answered on the show? Visit reimagininglove.com to send in a written or audio question. Questions can be about intimate partnerships, family relationships, friendships, you name it. If you're looking for more love and relationship content, you can find me on Instagram at dr.alexandra.solomon or visit my website, dralexandrasolomon.com, where you'll find my blog as well as the Intimate Relationships 101 e-course based off of the popular class I teach at Northwestern University. Thank you for listening, and see you next week here on Reimagining Love.